So guys, welcome back, and let's be honest, what a way to start the season. Not quite the result we're looking for, but all in all, can you ask for much more entertainment than that? 2-2, absolutely gut-wrenching to lose that in the last minute. To lose the lead that we'd worked so hard to get in front twice. Did we deserve to win? I think the draw overall was fair, but again, some victories aren't deserved, are they? But overall, I thought it was a really good performance. I want to start with the first goal, and Magoma's goal. Just he's taken off again where he left off last season. Corners come in, cleared to the edge of the box, and Magoma's caught it first time, and the initial strike was, well, it was absolutely fantastic, and he's been caught, he's blocked, and then it's come back out to him a second time, and he really doesn't think twice about it, does he? He really hit that with some pace, some venom, and he smashed it off the bar. I thought Magoma had a really good game. Sometimes needed to work a bit harder tracking back, but again, he brings a lot going forward, so can you blame him for not tracking back sometimes when he's been really our best outlet going forward? And I thought he was again today. And then to be pegged back with 15 minutes to go, or was it 10 minutes to go? I just find that there was individual errors. We really needed to. I really thought that the defence for the majority of the back end of last season and pre-season has looked really good. We look really solid. We've shown no real weaknesses, and then we've come into it today. And Norwich have opened us up a few times today, which I found quite surprising. I'm not going to point fingers in particular, but I thought the first half, Pedersen could have done a little bit better with some of his positioning. It got caught out one or two times, and he really should have done a little bit better. They managed to isolate him on that left-hand side 2-on-1, which is where I was talking about. Magoma probably could have tracked back a little bit more to offer a little bit more support, but he went unscathed, and I thought Pedersen grew into the game then from there. And then for the goals though, I believe Collan slipped actually down the right hand side. They were breaking down the right, and Collan slipped, and it's allowed the man to come inside to play a good ball out to our left hand side there, right. And then the guys danced around two people. We really could have cleared our lines there. A few individual mistakes, but again, what can you do? He's done well. The finish was okay. And then we're chasing the game again. Whereas we looked like we were set up to be resolute at 1-0 and try and hold on to what we had. We then got to go out again. And I didn't think we had it in us, personally. We'd made some subs. We took Hotter off. We took guards off. And I thought that at that point I still would have took a 1-1. I predicted 1-1 before the game. And I would have been happy with that. Overall performance was good. And then to go up the other end in the manner that we did, Jukovic gets the flick on, which he's been doing all game. He was awesome again today. He's in the air. I think he must have won about 90% of his battles in the air today. They really couldn't deal with him half the time. But he was the same back end of last season. Got a lot of. He didn't get a lot of credit for what he did. And then Viv's come on. Now he's really caught my eye in pre-season, Viv, and we all knew he was going to come into the first team fold this season. And he's managed to. He's shown that strength that he didn't quite have when he was in under Rowett, in and out. He showed a lot of strength to worm away from his man, keep the ball under a certain amount of control, and then to side foot it home under the goalkeeper in the way that he did. Well, it took a lot of composure for a young man. Bright things. I expect big things from him. And then it's just absolutely devastating to lose the game with a minute to go. We had the ball in the corner. As you would, you set up two banks of four and the two strikers pressing. And then when we'd cleared the ball up and they had the throw in inside their own half, we stepped up 25 yards, and I'm not too sure why. They'd already committed men forward. And we seem to step up to the halfway line. I understand that we need to try and press teams, pen them in instead of just inviting pressure. But then when we make the mistakes around the throw-in, sort of we don't win the initial ball, and then we miss the flick on, and then they manage to play a pass, and they're inside, and then they're breaking us. And Doy didn't. Obviously he was trying to kick his man. I could see him trying to knock his man's feet from underneath him. Didn't catch him, and then he's away. It was 3-on-3, and then Morrison again. It was a crucial slip. Can't blame him. He had a fantastic afternoon, and crucially 2 slips, I would say, have cost us 3 points. No one's fault, but that's how football goes, and that's frustrating. It was a good finish in the end from, I think it was Hernandez, not too sure. But I want to talk about some individual performances quickly. Connell Truman come in, first professional debut. I thought he did outstanding. I've been a bit sceptical of him coming in. Such a young lad, he's never played before, and to throw him in at the deep end the way we are, I thought he did really well, especially a fantastic save in the first half to turn over, I think it was Jordan Rhodes' header. And I thought he did okay. Yeah, he caught quite a few things. He made a good fight or save in the second half, a double save. It kind of bounced off Rhodes' head and then off his leg. He didn't know much about it, but he saved it twice. So I was really impressed with Truman today. So good things for him to come. I'm sure we're going to bring in another goalkeeper, but I don't mind Truman staying in for a little bit. I thought he played really well. Pedersen, again, his senior debut, really looked a bit unsteady first half. I've got a lot of faith in Pedersen. I think he's going to be a really good player for us. However, he was caught out 1 or 2 times on the back foot. They managed to get him behind him, like I said. But then he did grow into the game. He offers a really good delivery. Some of his corners were excellent today, and some of his free kick deliveries really caused problems. I think he needs to adapt to the league. We all know the Championship's a tough league, very physical, very quick. He's going to take him some time to adapt. I think he'll grow into it. He needs to be a bit more steady on his distribution when he gets the ball. He needs to get it down a little bit more instead of trying to hoof it up. But overall, a decent performance. I think the rest of the back line was solid, as ever. Dean, Morrison, and Collan really good offensively. And I can't really blame him for his slip on it for the first goal. So what can you do? The midfield looks really good. Gardner looks a completely different player. He's played really well today. I was a bit disappointed when he went off, but I think he was lagging behind because of his age, etc. So I think the midfield looks really good. Hotter looked a little bit off the pace today. Kept giving the ball away. Bit of a sloppy first touch. But overall, could you really moan? Did he do much wrong? Not really. Could have took an extra touch before he hit that shot in the second half, where he broke in behind their fullback. But overall, I think it was a good, solid performance. Plenty of positives to take away. If we can eradicate those little slips, those little errors, and those little bit of sloppy passing in there, we easily could have won that 2-0 and could have come away with all 3 points. But it's a starting block. We lost this game last season, the opening game, so it's a point on the board. And we go away to Middlesbrough next week, and I wouldn't be surprised if we could get something from that. I'm not saying a win, but again, you take another draw away at Middlesbrough, playoff team last season. If we can go there and be resolute and try and catch them on the break, I think we've got a lot to build on if we can get some strength in depth in the next few days. So look out for the fan cams later on, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, guys.